Hi, my friends. Renshi Boone Brown here at Ancient Ways Martial Arts Academy. I thought I would talk to you guys tonight about something that comes up every so often, but I'm going to begin by telling you a fun fact. You may not know this, but if you take a bucket and you fill it with live crabs and you set it down, if one of the crabs starts to crawl over the edge, the other crabs will grab him and pull him back in. And your life may actually be like this. If you're thinking about going back to school to get that education or open that business that you've always wanted to do, or you dream of writing that book or taking that special vacation or whatever, and you have people in your life that tell you you can't do that, or you shouldn't do that, or that's stupid, or you'll fail at that, or whatever, those are crabs in a bucket. And that term is used quite frequently around the really successful people in the world. They refer to those that try to pull them down as crabs in a bucket. Don't be fooled by those people, guys. And so here in martial arts, we see it a lot too. As a kid, I had a friend named Les who came up from a family of 8 children, and my karate instructor at the time did not offer an awesome family package like we do at Ancient Ways. And so there's no way Les's parents could have sent all 8 to martial arts, so they didn't send any. Les was jealous that I got to go since we had a family of 2 kids. But instead of saying, "Man, I'm jealous you get to do karate," he would say, "Karate's stupid, man. Only girls kick in a fight." Ladies, I didn't say it. Les did, and he was just a kid. Okay, so don't get after me on that one. But here's the thing, though, guys. That we see it a lot, even here, and that jealousy happens. Sometimes it's fear. I had one woman got her black belt with us, an amazing martial artist, an incredible human being. But her husband, somewhere along the line, decided that what she was doing was stupid, and he began to voice that to her. "I think it's stupid. You're never going to be able to defend yourself, especially against somebody my size, blah, blah, blah." And as much as I want to be defensive and come back on him with that yeah, she probably could, you want to test it out, which is not the right thing to do, he was afraid. And he probably couldn't even identify that. But let me give you an example that may make more sense. Let's say that you get seasick, you're allergic to seafood, and you can't swim. And yet your loved one comes to you and says, "Hey, I got a new hobby. I want to go deep sea fishing." Well, they're about to do something that's going to leave you completely out. And there's nothing that you can really do about it. And you may be really afraid that your relationship is at a critical juncture here because you can't participate in something that they really want to do. And so sometimes I get that. And now it would have been easy enough for the husband to participate in martial arts. And actually, I think that he did do a couple of classes, but when he saw that she had better flexibility than him, his ego couldn't handle it, and I've seen that a lot. And guys, it's not that your spouse's flexibility is really going to make them that much better a martial artist than you. You don't have to be able to do a full split to be a great martial artist, but it definitely sets people off sometimes. And I think that was the case in his situation. Another situation we run into a lot are the guys who say, "I don't need to learn karate, I got a gun." Okay, yeah. And that one comes up quite a bit too. And again, I think that people are kind of, as a whole, missing the point of why we do martial arts. So I thought I would go over that a little bit. As well as some of the other stuff that people just don't understand about why we do this. So first and foremost, guys, it is 2020 in North America. If I, as a male, get into a fight again in my life, it's probably because I was somewhere I shouldn't have been, doing something I shouldn't have been doing, saying something I shouldn't have been saying, hanging out with people I shouldn't have been with. Go to the library, go to church, go to martial arts, go home. Don't do any of the other stuff. You don't need that. Okay. And now, 80% of women report an attack in their lifetime. How many women never report it? Probably a whole bunch. And so, girls, you need to learn to defend yourself. And as far as being able to defend yourself, most of the time those women that were attacked by someone who at one point or another said they loved them. And so it's really domestic violence that we're dealing with here. And so it's not like you got to learn to deal with a guy in the street, although you should. It's really about learning how to make the right choices in who you're going to spend your life with, and making sure that you don't give over control of your life to somebody who begins with emotional abuse and then heads towards something else. All right, and now to deal with those of you that think this is all about self-defense, what's going to kill you? And what's going to be the thing that takes you from this planet? It's probably not another human being. It's probably not some guy with a gun. It's probably going to be heart disease or cancer or diabetes. Those are the leading killers. When I'm out here training, And when there's a class going on right now, adult class going on right now, they are smiling, sweating, and learning. They are doing what our doctors want us to do. There's 3 forms of physical exercise. One involves being flexible, one involves stamina, one involves strength. And we're doing all 3 of those every class. Once you get to be about my age, you start to head towards those senior years, your doctor says one thing to you: keep moving. Guess what we're doing every class? We're out here moving. And the thing too about it is, as far as a workout goes, it's a workout that has a bit of a purpose to it. I don't ever get bored like I would if I was picking something up and putting it down over and over again. Although I love working my kettlebells, it still gets a little boring. Although I still love my walks, and in the summer I do it on the treadmill because it's too high, it still gets boring. Whereas this never does. Even if I'm doing like the same drill with somebody over and over again, I'm still engaging with someone else and having a really good time with it. And so it's a workout that has a little bit more of a mental aspect to it, and it never gets boring. Now, as far as those of you who have your gun, that's great. Guys, we live in North America, you should. I honestly believe that. But you're not always going to have your gun with you. You have to go to the courthouse sooner or later. You got to go in an elementary school or a school. You got to go on a flight on the airplane. You got to go to another country that doesn't allow it. Going to go to an amusement park. You're not going to have your gun everywhere. And so you don't just have a screwdriver in your toolbox, do you? Surely you have a couple of wrenches as well. This is just tools in the toolbox. And the more tools in your toolbox, the more tasks you're able to take care of. But here's the other thing too. I mean, this is the hard part for people to really get. Let's say that you have a struggle with road rage, or maybe you struggle with spouse rage, or maybe you struggle eating the right things, or saying the right things, or being the right person. Maybe you have bad habits you know you should stop, or good habits you know you should adopt, but you're just not able to do those things. Well, out here, we're learning how to control micro movements. We're learning how to put our foot or our hand in very, very small spaces. We're not trying to chop down the tree. We're trying to be a surgeon removing an appendix. And we're working in really, really small details. And the things that we work on are just like minor rotations of the hips, a little bit more rotation on the ball of the foot, a little bit of a lift on that ball of the foot so that the heel is up. And it's such small detail that we begin to take that attention to detail to everything else we do. And that discipline allows us to be the right person, to say the right thing, and to do the right thing. Those battles that you and I fight inside every day, we're winning them. And it's thanks to the martial arts training. A true warrior isn't someone who goes out there and picks fights and gets into fights. A true warrior is the one that fights the internal battles and wins. It's all about being who we want to be on the inside and the out. And that's really why we do martial arts. Now, as far as how we deal with those people that may not support us in our friendships and our relationships and how we do what we do, here's a story. Once upon a time, there's a group of frogs, and they're traveling from one pond, which is drying up, to another pond, which is nice and juicy. As they're traveling along through the jungle, 2 of the frogs fall into a very deep hole. The other frogs gather around the top, and they're looking down at the frogs that are down in there as they're trying to jump out, and they can't reach the top. But they're banging against the sides, hurting themselves on rocks and on roots, trying to get out of the hole. The frogs up around the top are going, "Stop, man, you're just hurting yourselves. You're never going to get out of there. You should just try, stop trying, just go ahead and die." I think the term they used was, "You should just croak." And so one of them does. He just lays over and dies. The other one keeps jumping. He's jumping higher and higher, and they keep telling him, "Stop, man, you're just hurting yourself." Finally, he's able to go off one side and off the other side and come all the way out. And the other frogs are looking at him going, "Man, didn't you hear us? We were telling you to stop. You were hurting yourself." And he goes, I'm sorry, what was that?" They're like, "We were discouraging you from hurting yourself. We can't believe you made it all the way out." He goes, "Oh, well, I'm hard of hearing. I thought you were encouraging me." And so that's the approach to take. When you have naysayers in your life telling you to not go for that new business, or not to start that book, or take that awesome vacation, or begin your training in martial arts, or continue it even, remember, the best thing to do is to be a little deaf to them and to do what you know is right for your life. You got one chance to live this life the way you want to. Make sure you don't miss that chance. All right, guys, I hope you have a great night. I hope this was meaningful to you. We'll see you on the floor.